people in South Africa do not have enough to eat, and half the population is at risk of hunger, despite the country producing more than enough food. According to a new report by Oxfam, low incomes, rising costs, a lack of access to productive resources and climate change are amongst the reasons causing 13 million people to go to bed hungry. One family of 4 was found to live on just 6 rand a day. For more on this, we're joined in studio by Rashmi Mistry, who is the Justice Campaign Manager of Oxfam Economic. It's good to have you. Thank you very much for joining us. You know, a lot of South Africans that are watching and listening to that may be shocked by hearing things like that, but this is the reality of our country.
This is absolutely the reality for too many people in our country. And our report is called The Hidden Face of Hunger in South Africa. And most people don't recognise that there are 1 in 4 people actually facing hunger.
Yeah.
And it is shocking, and I think we should all be shocked and outraged about it, so that we can do more about it as well. Our report really goes beyond the facts, however. The figures are scary. But really what we've tried to do is look at the real life stories of ordinary people who are facing this reality every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, they are really disturbing stories. And
well, let's highlight a few of them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's open our eyes this morning.
Yeah.
What are some of the stories you've come across? I know in the introduction we spoke about a family of 4 living on 6 rand a day. I'm not sure what you can get for that.
Absolutely.
But I imagine there are families out there that don't even have that 6 rand a day.
Yeah, some don't. But yes, absolutely. The 6 rands a day, it's a young woman, 23 years old, lives in the Eastern Cape. She struggles to find a job. So she does piecemeal jobs.
Yeah.
But she looks after her family, including 2 young children. And sometimes she has 6 rands to spend on food, and so she buys a few packets, a small packet of rice and a few potatoes, and that's what she feeds her family on. You know, she does her best, but actually the circumstances she lives in means that she doesn't have enough. And she talks about how the children, wake up in the middle of the night from hunger, saying, "Mummy, I'm hungry." She talks about also, and something that many people don't really realise is that when you're in this situation, you feel unconfident. You feel that people are looking at you in a certain way. So the young lady talked about, because she doesn't have enough money to buy food, she has to buy the cheapest of the cheapest food, and she feels like people rate her the cheapest of the cheapest.
Yeah.
And so, hunger, it strips your dignity. It perpetuates inequality, and it really holds back people's ability to get out of hunger and prosper.
Yeah. A report like this has been released, and it's the harsh realities of South Africa. It's amazing how diverse our country is, because you've got the wealthy that are exceptionally wealthy, and then you've got that massive gap, and the poor that are ridiculously poor. But we produce enough food. What needs to be done? I mean, in your opinion, from the research that's been done, how do we need to close this and make the story go away, in a sense?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The gap between rich and poor is huge, and it's demonstrated in terms of hunger. The top 10% in our country actually spend about 30,000 rands, say 2,500 rands a month on food, whereas the bottom 25% only have 700 rands to spend on food. So it's a massive,
big gap,
massive gap. So, what we need to do is really look at this in a holistic way. The causes of hunger are many. It's not just one, so there's no one magic bullet. But what we're trying to do in this report is really get more people to understand this is a real life and urgent issue, so that we can get talking about it, get understanding it, and so that that government and duty bearers, the private sector, also realise that this is a really important issue that we all care about and we must do something about. At the moment, government policies have been piecemeal, they've been ineffectual, they've been uncoordinated. What we're calling for is that we need to look at a food act, a national food act, that puts ending hunger at the heart of government policy, so that all government departments are responsible for ending hunger, and that it has legal force, so that it's accountable to people as well.
Yeah.
At the moment, there is policy around hunger and food nutrition and security. We were with government yesterday in a dialogue, who also recognised that actually the gap between what they're doing and their implementation, their policies, strategies, is very, very far from what people actually need and are experiencing on the ground. And that needs to change. So we're saying that we all need to be part of this process, particularly people who are facing hunger, need to be part of the process in developing the solutions. And so if we go for a national act, let's ensure that everyone, including people who are facing hunger themselves, are part of developing that act.
Most certainly. And I mean, in a country where we have so much arable land, where we have enough food, I mean, we produce so much food, and yet it's not going in the right avenues, and it's the access that people need to get this. But let's find out what people think about this, and if they want to read this report or want access to it, is it on your website?
The easiest place to find us is on Facebook, Oxfam in South Africa.
Okay.
Also follow us on Twitter, Oxfam in SA.
Okay.
And join us and tell us what you think. We've put some videos online. Have a look at the stories.
Good.
Tell us what you think. Tell us what we can do.
Excellent. So it's Twitter is Oxfam SA.
Oxfam in SA.
In SA. Okay, good. Follow them on Twitter, look on Facebook, get involved, and I do hope that this report lands up in the right hands, because statistics like this are unacceptable. Thank you for enlightening us this morning. Rashmi Mistry is Economic Justice Campaign Manager for Oxfam. All right, let's take a break.